To me, this game is so much a product of the thing that goes on inside of you and between your ears. I think that there's a certain intensity about the 1985 Cleveland Browns, and I think that people in this community will feel that intensity.
Now listen to me. All right. If you get a 6-1 gaps call, you're on the weak side, away from the wing, and the triangle's away from you, go pit. The ball came inside of...
I have very strong feelings that the players look to coaches for direction.
Is the end going to be coming in that gap too?
No. No.
All right.
No. He'll play base.
Anytime that something happens on the field, as the player comes off, I immediately go to the player and I ask them, what did you see? Then, of course, you're in a position to correct him and say, all right, now this is exactly what took place. You understand that. Now you recognize this is what needs to be done in that situation.
You got to hold off the halfback as he goes through to 12.
So it's a process of teaching, even in the course of a game as events transpire.
You look for that guy coming there, and then you can back up and whack him. If we run the strong five.
With his head-to-head, highly animated, hands-on approach, Marty Schottenheimer is a born teacher who gets involved with his students. For at 41, Cleveland's intense new coach isn't far removed from his playing days, when he wore number 56 with the Patriots and Bills. Schottenheimer had the reputation as a hard-nosed player who hated to lose. As Cleveland's coach, he still does.
There's nothing to be gained of a positive nature from a defeat. Losing is indigestible.
With 11 defeats, Cleveland's 1984 season was hard to swallow. The team entered a new dimension, a twilight zone of sacks and dropped footballs. Submitted for your approval, the 1984 season, a nether region where the bizarre became commonplace and the end zone became the twilight zone for the Browns. It was the realm of countless missed opportunities. Reality was suspended, and the mysterious and unexplainable were in full force. In Cleveland's 11 losses, 9 times the team had a chance to win in the final 2 minutes. One kick, one catch, one pass would have made a vast difference.
McDonald back to throw. Blitz on. There's it. Intercepted. That's it. That's it. Intercepted, and it may be a touchdown anyway. It's going to be by Randy Robbins all the way for a touchdown. Ball game is over, folks. With 38 seconds left, 62-yard interception, and that's it. Well, Browns have lost their 3rd game in a row.
Cleveland players, coaches, and fans could only watch in wonder. A season that had approached with much promise dissolved into a frustrating shambles, and a painful coaching change was made. In retrospect, a severe knee injury suffered by All-Pro tackle Cody Risen was the single most critical event that contributed to the decline. It came in the final minutes of the final preseason game.
If it hadn't been 6 days before the season opener, then maybe it would have been easier for everybody to adjust to it. I guess everybody thought it was something that was devastating.
He hurt his knee. Stay with it, Cody. Just a sprain.
It was season-ending ligament damage, and it created an irreversible ripple effect. The offensive line seldom stood its ground, and Cleveland quarterbacks were sacked a record 55 times. If sacks didn't kill Cleveland, last-second field goals did.
1 second left. Ball down. Kick is up in the air. It is far enough. It is good. 1 second to play. And the Browns have lost again as the gun goes off for the 2nd consecutive week.
On the plus side of the kicking game, Matt Barr broke Lou Groza's 31-year record for most field goals in a season. But the biggest kick didn't belong to Barr.
60 yards, and it's Steve Cox. He's the punter also. 60 yards. He's going to kick it. Here it goes. Good! Just cleared. 60-yard field goal by Steve Cox. That's the second longest in NFL history. He's being mobbed by his entire team.
But the Bengals won the battle of field goals.
It's good. No time left. Game is over. Bengals win on the last play of the game.
The Browns lost 4 games in the final seconds, 3 on kicks on the final play of the game. Eventually, the ball bounced the Browns' way.
McDonald back. He fires it as Adams got it, juggled it, grabbed it, fumbled it. Picked up by Biner. Hard to believe. He's to the 40. He's to the 30. He's to the 20. Touchdown.
Under a shroud of rain in the city where he began his pro career, Marty Schottenheimer won his first game as head coach. The Browns' best game also came in the rain. Over 77,000 saw a decisive win over arch-rival Pittsburgh. Behind near-perfect protection, Paul McDonald had his finest day. The game's most important play occurred when McDonald picked up a Steeler blitz.
Steelers showing blitz. Safety blitz.
The quarterback read the blitz and burned it badly.
McDonald throws. Wide open. Whoa, wait. Now goes Boyce Green to the 20, to the 10. Touchdown.
A perfect read by quarterback Paul McDonald, 44 yards.
While the offense rolled up over 400 yards on the steel curtain, a tip of the hat went to the defense, which beat Pittsburgh at its own game. Wielding the type of roughhouse style seen in alley fights, Cleveland's defense dominated, intimidated, and didn't permit a single touchdown. On this lone autumn afternoon at the stadium, the Browns gave their fans one brief, tantalizing taste of what might have been in 1984. Cleveland's intense defense was the top-ranked in the conference. It led the league in 8 categories.
He has never run the ball out of the shotgun that I know of.
Okay.
All right, so if they go shotgun...
Marty Schottenheimer was the architect. Hanford Dixon provided their name.
It kind of caught on that we named the whole defense the Dogs, because we're out there on the field just having a good time and we're barking, and that's important. I think all great defenses have to have something that they can identify themselves with.
Browns fans not only identified with the Dogs, they reveled in them. Their cheerleader was effervescent number 29, Hanford Dixon.
I like to get the fans involved in the game whenever we come on the field, because I love those fans over there. You actually believe they're throwing orange dog bones at us. And see, that's important for us. It gets us fired up and it gets them fired up. And they let us know that they're behind us and they want to see us play. So all the guys just come together, and I think the fans have played a big part in us playing so well this year.
No unit in the league surrendered fewer touchdowns. Opponents were held to 1 or none 8 times. In this defense, every dog had its day. Number 72, Dave Pizzoli, was a nose tackle who sniffed out the big play, while number 79, Bob Mad Dog Golick, lived up to his nickname. In only 2 years, he's become one of the league's best middle guards. The 2 young defensive ends continued to develop. Number 99, Keith Baldwin, showed why a quarterback pressure is sometimes better than a sack. But the big story was number 96, Reggie Camp. who in his second season emerged as a major force in Schottenheimer's defensive scheme.
His ability to defend the running game and read and react to keys was like that of a 5 or 6 or 7 year veteran. He just had a knack, just a natural instinctiveness about him. Tremendous, tremendous ability to defend the run. Of course, last season his sacks were up significantly, and he's going to be an outstanding player on this football team.
Camp was so outstanding, his 14 sacks represent the second highest in team history, a half sack behind the record set by Bill Glass in 1965. The talent in the secondary has mushroomed to where the club has a quintet of quality backs. Number 20, highly touted Don Rogers, was an immediate starter with immediate impact. Rogers hit like a linebacker playing free safety, and quarterbacks soon found it doesn't pay to visit Mr. Rogers' neighborhood. The Browns' first-round draft pick was named Defensive Rookie of the Year and appears to be a future All-Pro. The team's second draft choice was also a crushing hitter. Number 37, Chris Rockins, made his presence felt and is added evidence to the depth in Cleveland's restructured secondary. In an era of high-powered passing attacks, no team can have enough DBs. Chris Rockins is high-premium insurance at both cornerback and safety. Al Gross, number 27, was the backfield's biggest surprise. A personal project of Schottenheimer's, Gross led the team in interceptions. The final link in the chain was the insertion at left corner of talented Frank Minifield, giving the team 2 aggressive cornerbacks, partners in crime, with the speed to eyeball a receiver and shadow him stride for stride. Hanford Dixon and Mighty Minnie. Dogs are their name, bump and run is their game. The best pair of corners this side of the Raiders, Hayes and Haynes. The secondary was fast and physical, the most intimidating pass defense in the league.
We caught a lot of heat from a lot of things that we did in the secondary, like a lot of high fives, and a lot of people say that we were really talented receivers. But if you look at the stats, we were number 1 in the AFC, number 2 in the entire NFL. We get the job done. I think that's the most important thing. We're going to be out there, we're going to intimidate receivers. We are going to be dogs on the field.
The linebackers were the heart of the dog defense. They hounded ball carriers from sideline to sideline. In the middle were number 51 Eddie Johnson and number 50 Tom Cousineau. Coos earned Conference All-Pro, while EJ's pop and explosion made him the leading tackler on the team. On the outside was Clay Matthews and Chip Banks, the USC connection. Number 56, a 2-time All-Pro, had an outstanding season, though less spectacular than previous years. As always, opponents couldn't sweep his side, for Banks ignored blockers to flush out the ball. Chip Banks was often sensational, but the brightest star was, according to the coach, Clay Matthews.
Clay Matthews, in my opinion, played as well as any linebacker I've been associated with.
And they give you 48 as a signal.
Okay.
He is one of the top 3 or 4 linebackers in the National Football League today.
Big play. Blitz. Nickel sting, cover 4. Crash, crash, crash. Come on in, come
Matthews'
on in.
intelligence makes him the natural leader on defense. His savage tackling made him Defensive Player of the Year.
Set! Ripper Lynn, Ripper Lynn! Rip, we gotta...
He's always on his feet. He never lets you get to his body. He's like a shadow, you know, he just stays in your way, and he's like a bug, and he annoys you. So that's what's so great about Clay, and I think that's what's going to keep him around for a long time.
Draw! That's yours! He fumbled it!
Basically, I'm concerned with maximizing my ability. I like to get paid what we get paid, but the money really isn't that important. It's the accomplishment.
Matthews' accomplishments included myriad big plays, a dozen quarterback sacks, and the highest postseason grade Schottenheimer has ever given. Number 57 was all over the field, and though he's the oldest defensive starter, he's only 28. Clay Matthews should be the leader of the defense for a long time. In 11 years as a coach and 6 as a player, number 56 learned the value of special teams. He vows the Browns will improve.
There's no question in my mind that we are going to have the best special teams in the National Football League. There will be dramatic market improvement. If I've got to go out and cover kickoffs, we're going to get that done. I can't emphasize the very, very strong feeling I have about the importance of that phase.
Another phase that must improve is the offense, where Cleveland made dramatic off-season news.
Didn't expect quite a turnout here. Well, good morning, everyone. I think everyone's quite aware now of, I think, Mr. Rozell's rulings and, you know, my present situation. And I'd like to start out by saying I was very pleased with the way things have transpired for myself over the last couple days.
In a jammed press conference at the University of Miami in April, Bernie Kosar told the nation why he chose Cleveland.
It's a question, I think, of me being from the area, my commitments towards the Youngstown, Cleveland area, and me basically just wanting to go home.
The headlines herald a marriage made in heaven for a hometown boy and his favorite football team. In Bernie Kosar, the Browns got the brightest pro prospect in college football. A youngster who passed the Miami Hurricanes to a national title in his freshman year, and who packed 4 seasons of excitement into 2 years of collegiate football. To ease Kosar's path to the pros, the Browns traded for veteran Gary Danielson, Detroit's starting quarterback last year. A pair of elfin rookies, number 86 Brian Brennan and 85 Bruce Davis, should aid the air attack. Davis is the best bet for the Browns' biggest need, a receiver with a license to fly. In his rookie year, the second-round pick showed signs of being a big play receiver.
Incomplete, batted up in the air. Caught for a touchdown. Davis caught the ball, the 49ers. Hit it straight up in the air.
Brian Brennan displayed great hands and toughness over the middle. Brennan goes after the ball and usually gets it. His 35 receptions were most for a rookie since Paul Warfield 20 years ago. When it comes to catching footballs, one player stands above them all. Ozzie Newsome led the AFC with 89 receptions.
If I drop a pass, it hurts. So I pride myself on catching every ball.
Over the last 6 years, he's caught more passes than anyone in the NFL.
I like to get a ball by myself and just toss it up in there and then play it like you do with a volleyball and just pat it from one hand to the other. That way I get my concentration, I get my hand and eye coordination together of just watching the ball. So if you watch me before a game, right before the kickoff or something, you'll see me with the ball and I'm patting it up in there and I might even flip it from behind my back over my shoulder just so I can get the hand and eye coordination, which is a big thing in receiving.
While the Wizard flew through the air, the running attack foundered on the ground. Injuries wrecked Mike Pruitt's season, but an unacclaimed rookie softened the pain. Ernest Biner burst on the scene and finished fast with nearly 300 yards in the last 2 games. His 188 against Houston was the highest total for a Browns back in 8 years. Biner averaged a conference-leading 5.9 yards a carry and propelled himself squarely into the team's crowded running back picture where the competition will be fierce. For Cleveland has added a pair of hot prospects. Number 34, Kevin Mack, was projected as a #1 pick before going to the USFL, while much publicized All-American Greg Allen was the Browns' top choice this year. Both rookies will vie for a spot in the Browns' backfield. If Greg Allen, number 26, can perform in the pros like he did at Florida State, where he broke 26 records, Cleveland will have the breakaway back they've been seeking. While youngsters like Allen, Mack, and Kosar begin their careers in Cleveland, Doug Deacon is ending his. In 14 years, the old Warrior never missed a game. Battered and bruised, the third left tackle in the team's history often limped off the field, but always returned. Deacon represents personal pride and motivation. And when the Cleveland Browns take the field in 1985, they'll reflect a kind of mental toughness their new coach prizes, along with a commitment to excellence.
That commitment to excellence that we feel that in 1985 we're going to achieve. There is an intensity about this football team in 1985, and I think it'll be very evident.
As the Browns prepare for the season with their new head coach and his intense approach, they are determined to return to their winning ways. One thing for certain, the new coach is tough. His team will be too.
Ball came inside of Kuz, went out on a pile, and there wasn't anybody to fill in there. So if you've got a triangle away from you...
Is the end going to be coming in that gap too?
No. No.
All right.
No. So if I call 42, it's Baker. If I call 48, it's Baker. Now what'll happen is with the under, when it's Baker, David on 48. Now the problem is we put the strong corner by himself on 81. Well, we can cover him. There's no problem there. You got it?